So Nada Yoga is an ancient Indian metaphysical system. It is equally a philosophical system, a medicine and a form of yoga. This system's theoretical and practical aspects are based on the premise that the entire cosmos and all that exists in the cosmos, including human beings, consists of vibrations called nada, which is interesting because what I did learn in my yoga therapy training is that the energetic pathways in our body are called nadis. Nadis is the energetic pathways. And when we do hands-on healing in yoga science, we are doing, we're healing through the nadis. And those are those energetic pathways. Are they similar to the meridians? I'm curious. Does anyone know that? Are the nadis the same thing as the meridians, or are they different? I have a feeling they're different. But let me read on here. This concept holds that it is the energy of vibrations that make up the particles and matter which form the building blocks of the cosmos. This is exactly my philosophy. So it's so cool to like come into home, home base here. Nada yoga is also a reverential way to approach and respond to vibrations. In this context, silent vibrations of the self, anahata, sound and music, ahata, carry a spiritual weight more meaningful, respectfully, than what sensory properties normally provide. Silent vibrations of the self, anahata, and sound and music, ahata, are considered to play a potential medium intermediary role to achieve a deeper unity with both the outer and inner cosmos. I love this. I love this stuff. Yeah, it's nada, N-A-D-A. But maybe it's pronounced naga because it has the over the A, it has the... So Nada's yoga's use of vibration and resonances are also used to pursue palliative effects on various problematic psychological and spiritual conditions. It is also employed to raise the level of awareness of the postulated energy centers called chakras. So this is what my whole business is based on. And I've never studied Nada yoga. I've studied yoga therapy, but I've never heard the term Nada yoga. But the idea that the voice and silence, awareness of frequency, and can shift potently certain programming in the subconscious and in the emotional body and in the mental body. And when we start just moving that, integrating that, what happens is we become more free. We become lighter. We raise our vibration, right? In the quantum field, it's not linear like in the material world. Think of quantum, where we expand our vibration, we release density. So when we can do that, and that's what I do a lot with midlife women, but I niche there because midlife women are in such a transition, but I really can work with this with everybody. So let's think of an emotion that is really heavy on our hearts right now, okay? Go to an emotion right now that's heavy on your heart, okay? Feel the heck out of it. Like if it had a volume knob, push it up to 100 and feel the heck out of it, okay? And feel it. And then allow your voice to be the voice of that emotion. And then you start vocalizing. Now, it could sound like a groan at first, right? Usually it sounds kind of like that hard emotion sounds kind of grumbly and groany. It's really unstable, right? It's chaotic. So let it be. And you'll notice as you keep toning that it usually comes to a pure tone, a more consistent tone. So it goes something like So that's like the process kind of condensed. But you would sit with that emotion for a long time and you would let it out. The groan, the pain, and just be present with it. The key is to be present with it. Mimi, when we talked yesterday about those questions of like, what does it feel like? What color is it? What shape is it? Okay, bye Mimi, sending you love. Sending you a bubble of love to be in all day long. So when you ask the questions like to that emotion, that deep emotion you're having and feeling, what color is it? What shape is it? You're welcome. You're so welcome. What temperature is it? What sound it is? And what words, what message is there, right? And then when you can really give attention to this emotion that's kind of gnawing at you, think about it, it's like my dog here. This morning, she was just so, she was just so anxious, and she's just kind of pulling at me. She wanted her morning walk, but I had a slow morning. And that emotion is like, hey, I want attention. And we never give it. It doesn't have time to process. So if it's gnawing at you, go to it. Ask those questions. Give it attention. And then let your vocal cords be the voice of that emotion. And just let it out. And you just keep being there. You keep processing the energy of the emotion. You keep being present with it. It's like if you're a mom, you know what it's like to be present with a 2-year-old's tantrum or resisting it, right? Both are pretty uncomfortable, but one's a hell realm. The resistance is the hell realm. But if you can be calm and be present with the tantrum and not let it rule you, just be with it, the tantrum resolves. And what happens? The 2-year-old runs up to you and wants to hug you, right? So this is the power of voice to start moving vibrations and emotions. Now, emotions are not physical things, right? Emotions, but the thing is, your voice and sound and frequency can affect the material world as well. It really can. Where's Agnes? So let's see. Invite. Okay. So it's exciting to know that you have this superpower tool with you at all times. And if everything is vibration and vibration affects vibration, it's all you need, right? And sometimes it's tough. Sometimes it's tough because for things to really shift, to transform and make things really shift effectively, we need accountability. We need repetition. We need consistency. So you got to do these practices consistently. You need to immerse yourself every day in this work, right? And sometimes that's hard. So sometimes it's really nice to have a support system. And that's what I do on here with my videos and my lives. And sometimes it's nice to have even more like structured support and more focused support of what you're going through. And that's why I have over on my link different things for midlife women, for just to sound medicine programs, free hangouts, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, what I told my young friend Mimi is that you're not alone. Like, these platforms are great for when you're feeling you need support, and that there's all levels of support here, right? There's just getting onto a quick live like this. There's free stuff where you can get on focus Zooms. There's stuff that there's programs where you can have accountability and repetition and immersion and really dive deep with your stuff and stay on track. So there's all levels of support, and that's what I love about social media is that when a practitioner is of service, there's just all these layers of support, and you get to plug in to whatever's works for you. And so let me know any questions. So we just talked about the moving emotions with your voice. You can do the same with the mental world. So it's once we can get past the mental, emotional bodies, I guess all of it, but the mental body really starts to weigh on us, right? Because it's the mental programming that can sabotage our life moving forward, that can sabotage our health, that can sabotage our business, that can sabotage our marriage and our relationships. Because if we have certain unconscious or subconscious beliefs around relationships, business, money, stuff like that, that we haven't uncovered yet, and on the surface, in the conscious layer, right, 10% of our consciousness, we're like, I feel good, I'm positive, I am like saying my affirmations, but then there's a 90% in your subconscious that you haven't unraveled yet, and it keeps sabotaging you. That's the mind stuff, and that's really important to get to. I'm going to turn my heater on, I'm cold. So is anyone working with a certain belief system that they kind of are aware of, kind of not, or a belief system your family has that you're noticing, wow, I didn't know I had this belief system, but my life seems to be the effect of it. Does that make sense? My life seems to be the effect of my family's like lack issues, or my life seems to be the effect of my family's relationship issues. I can't seem to get a relationship, right? So like you might not be aware that you've actually taken on that belief system, yet you're still having this effect of it. And if you're having an effect of it, it's somewhere in your psyche. And this is another area where your voice can be really powerful to unravel that in the subconscious. But it takes time to go in and feel somatically where it is in your body or your field, right? And honestly, this work it's kind of simple practically, but it's tough because without a coach or a guide, sometimes we're like, is that it? Or we kind of just stay superficial with it because it's uncomfortable. And what a coach and a guide does, it encourages you to go a little deeper, get a little more uncomfortable, get a little deeper, a little more uncomfortable. And because of course, you can totally do all of this yourself. But you got to be really diligent, really committed, and really disciplined to go into the discomfort. And when you have a coach, it's a little easier, it's a little quicker. Hi, Bridget. Thanks for joining. So is this making sense? The comments have stopped, so I'm kind of curious. Let me hear from you. Like emotional stuff, mental stuff, how I'm talking about the voice and everything being vibration and vibration affecting vibration. Does this make sense? Does anyone have a thought or a lineage belief pattern that they want to bring up in the comments that we can use as a little hot seat right now? Hi, Cynthia. Definitely makes sense. Thank you. Thanks for that comment. Sometimes I'm like, am I talking to anybody? I see there's some people here. So, being quiet to keep the peace in your house. I feel my family uses lack of time to maintain a sense of lack. Yeah, Western therapy versions of Buddhist thought. Western therapy versions of Buddhist thought is morning flight. Is that what you mean? That's what I'm talking about? I've never studied Buddhism, so, but maybe it's all of the same. Maybe truth is truth. I feel family. Okay, let's use this one. You feel family Okay. Okay. So there's two here to work on. Okay. So one is I have to be quiet to keep peace in my house. That is huge. I can so relate to that. I grew up being like that. And then the second one is I feel my family uses lack of time to create a sense of lack. Okay, good. These are both really potent ones. Okay. Lack of time. I'm going to write this down. And be quiet to keep peace. I'm gonna talk about first. I'm gonna get to both of these because, and your family calls me crazy. Okay, Vicky, do you believe them? Is there anywhere in your system that you believe you're crazy? These are all great. So let me see. No, okay. So the thing is, I encourage you to so on the conscious level, you say, no, there's nowhere really in me that feels like I'm crazy. Have you been called crazy since you were a little kid? I'm going over this one because this one's gonna be a little quicker. Yes, okay. So is it possible that you've adapted that persona and not even realizing it, and it's more in your subconscious? Because a lot of times if we've been called, if we're kind of like the oddball or the black sheep, they've been saying, oh, you're crazy. It starts out kind of like an endearment. Oh, she's just crazy. Oh, look at her. That little one, she's so crazy. And then it gets bigger and bigger and you turn into a teen like, oh my gosh, she's crazy. So there might be some stuff to go into the subconscious, go a little deeper, a little deeper. I changed it to be accompaniment now. So, so you want to go deeper into the subconscious and see how old you were when you started to believe their banter about you being crazy. It's a really cool work. Like you ask, what age am I being right now? What age am I being right now when they're calling me crazy? Okay, so ask yourself that question. What age am I being right now when they've called me crazy? And an age will pop up. And then you go to yourself at that age and you talk to her and say, hey, we're not, like, you know, and you just, how you would like a young person. So give that a try too. Yeah, 2 years old, that's pretty young, not that verbal, right? So the idea is to go into your 2-year-old self and say hi. Imagine, you envision her sitting on your lap and just saying, hey, you know what? We're grown now. And you just name your age. And we're okay, right? This talking in this soothing voice, not with making fun or anger, like saying, you're crazy. Like, it's a soothing voice. Use a tone. Use a vibration that's soothing and caring and letting her know that we're an adult self now, or however old you are. You're welcome. And you go into, and so this can actually work for all three of these questions too. I don't know this person, so we're just gonna decline. So then you're gonna go to that 2-year-old self, and it's great that it's pretty quick when the number comes up, and you're gonna go to that self, that 2-year-old self, and do that emotional feeling, right? That thing that we just did about amping it up, feel that little one's emotion, and sing her a song. Tone with her. It may be really chaotic. What was the first feeling she had when someone said she was crazy? Was it like, you know, was it, you know, like what was it? And then go to that first feeling. It was sad. Go to that sadness and voice it out. Try to go under the words. Try to go under the confusion. Why would someone I love it? Why would my caretakers that I love say I'm crazy? And And so you go under that and you vocalize the frequency under that. And then you vocalize, and then you see what's there, and you vocalize and you see what's there, and you vocalize and you see what's there. And then you bring it back into the present moment, and you integrate her into your life now. And when you do that work, you may notice that people stop saying that comment, right? Oh, I'm so glad you're learning so much. That means a lot to me. I'm so glad. Thank you for letting me know that. So you really want to, after you do that deep work, they never said they loved me as a child. Yeah, that's hard. So you have to love that child. And you're going to love her, and you're going to integrate her into the present moment. And then you start loving yourself. And you let out a note of love. Yeah. When you never hear I love you, and people say you're crazy, it's hard to know love. But you'll get there, because your essence, who you are, your essence is love. You'll get there. And so you just have to love that little one and reparent her and move those and process those emotions at the base at 2 years old with your voice. Bring it back to the present moment, and you do have lots of love for all. Yeah. And so let out a love song to her, just in a tone. And as you do this work, keep doing this little process. And if you need support, I'm here. I do strategy calls. The first one's on me. And I do something called awakened voice sessions. So you can always, schedule those. But this is deep work. As you can see, you can do it on your own. But sometimes it brings up more than you can chew right now. And so if you need support, I'm here. And so that's the process, guys. So it's like you can see how a thought process, someone saying you're crazy, there's some vibrational root. And you go back and you find it and you play with it there. And so if we go to lack of time, okay, be quiet. I'm going to be quiet to keep the peace. I had that in my household. I have a mother that was very traumatized and has some personality issues as a result of it. And there was a lot of everything's fine, and then her screaming out of nowhere kind of thing. And you're like, woo. So you never want to rock the boat. You're going to kind of be quiet. You're going to try to just manipulate yourself to just so things don't get too chaotic with her. So we're in this co-creation. And now my mom's in her 70s and I'm in my 50s, and I'm learning, I've done a lot of healing around that, and I'm learning how to be with her in a certain amount of time that's healthy. And I'm learning to honor what she went through, like why she's like that. I can have compassion for what she was, but it was a lot for my nervous system, so I had to just shut down. So I numbed out, I got really quiet, and I started singing in my 20s, and it was hard because I was so numb and my voice was shut down because of having to be quiet to make peace. So you're going to want to do, feeling invisible is really common. You want to claim your voice back. So this is really important. This is really, really important what I'm about to say. Is this, there's a way to be quiet as a choice rather than a way to be quiet for survival. Even though survival is a choice, but listen, if you start to integrate and being like, wow, this is their stuff, I'm going to go to where I felt like I had to be quiet and shut down, and I'm going to do some healing work with my voice there. And then you're going to know what people can hear and what they can't. And then you are in the power seat. When you get to be in the power seat, you no longer feel invisible, shut down, or silenced. You just have the awareness of what these people can hear and what they can't. And so you know that, oh, well, I'm just not going to talk about that, and da-da-da. And it's not disempowered because you're in the driver's seat. You're living from awareness, not from fear. So when you can cross over from awareness, from fear, you're in the driver's seat and you have the power. So that takes a little time, but it's a kind of a perspective shift. Certain people just can't hear certain things. They can't hear certain stories. They're not at a certain space to have this, growth work introduced to them. So to tell them and push that on them is actually an abuse. Just like you were abused with sound, right? With voice. So we wouldn't want to abuse someone by telling them something that they're not ready to hear or just can't hear. So as we grow our own selves and heal ourselves and grow our awareness, we start to have all this awareness of, oh, yeah, we're just going to play here today because they can't really hear that, and you have the power. And it feels so much better. You're no longer visible or silenced or have to be quiet. You just feel like, I got this. I'm aware. And, and if you're around people all the time that you can't hear all of you, why? Unless you're still in a family situation and you're still being supported by them, and so that's a little harder to leave. But if you're an adult, you get to choose something else, right? And if you're extended family, so I'm an adult and I talk to my mom like twice a week. We talk on the phone. We have positive conversations. Whenever it gets too negative, I'm like, I redirect or I say I have to go. And so you get to be the leader of your life when you don't have to be immersed with them. So me as a kid, me as a child, I was just immersed with this chaotic energy. And it was tough to live through that. But once I, left home, then I could free myself. And so someone's saying here, is denial a river in Egypt? I don't know what you're getting at, dude, so whatever. You're a loner now. Okay, know the audience for your own peace of mind. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So stressful to hide your light, yes. It is so stressful to hide your light. It causes depression. We depress our light. And I don't know about you, but when I was a little girl, I felt like I had this superpower in me, and it just was smoldering here, and I just kept snuffing it down, and I felt like this big, but the thing inside me was like this big, and it was very uncomfortable. And I was kind of like a depressed kid, a lot. So I feel so good at 52. I would never want to go back. I would never want to be young again. I feel so free and light, and life is magical these days. I would never want to go back. Your light aggravates people. Yeah. Sometimes our light reminds people of what they're not expressing or what they're not able to express, and it bugs them, right? It's like it's smoldering. Their light is like, let us out. And your light reminds me of how much they are trapped inside themselves. So can you find people that are living their light? Can you find those people, right? So why do we keep living with and attracting people that can't be with all of us? I'm still in the age where people can't accept how open I am. I think I'm hearing this from both of you. You're around people that can't allow you and accept you. So you need to go in. Do you allow and accept yourself. Be radically honest. There might be areas that you do, but there might be areas that you really don't, because there's always a vibrational root to something, right? There's always a vibrational root, right? So if you are attracted, there's people around you that don't accept you, there's something happening. One, you keep choosing them on some level, deep level, or you've chose them and now you've grown and you don't know how to let them go. How do you let them go? So personally, I've come to an age at 52 where I'd rather be alone than with people that I can't be all of me with. And I had to let go of a close friend I had for 20 years. I just kind of was like, every time I'm with her, I feel like my energy does this, right? So if you're with people and you walk into the room with them and all of a sudden you're like, and you have to act an old way, that's self-abuse. What would it take to be alone and enjoy your own company over being with people that make your whole energy do this? And that's where the work is. Are you okay with being alone? Oh yeah, human design has so much information. I would love to get more into that. You've chosen animals over people. Same. Yes, it's your own manifestation. And so when people hear it's my own manifestation, I know that can trigger us. I know that can feel hard. But know that it's probably pretty deep, and it's not on a conscious level. It's deep. There's some deep programming that subliminally somehow you got. So you may be manifesting and actualizing these people in your life, but you're not doing it consciously, right? So the work is to spiral down deep. And sometimes that's hard to do on your own. And this is what I support people with. So you just spiral down and you find deeper in the subconscious what's there. Because I know it's hard to hear, it's your own manifestation, but it's way deep. All right, this is not a conscious manifestation. I just want to say that this is not your fault consciously. Yeah, human design. Thanks for bringing that up. The human design, because that gives us so many claim to be a human design doula. Do you do the work? Mama Joy, are you a human design mentor? Yeah. I would love to learn more about human design. So if anyone wants to do some trade work, if anyone knows human design and wants some awakened voice sessions, I would love to do a trade. Yeah, it's cool work. And then after the human design, has anyone studied the gene keys? Yeah, I only know the basics too. The guy, Richard Rudd, he was in the human design work, and then he branched off and he did his own work called the gene keys. And whoo, that's a whole nother thing. There's like 4 books, and you get your holographic map, and it's powerful. If I was to describe it, human design seems more like of your life path, even like your material life path, and the gene keys goes deeper into your like DNA and your personal evolution. I checked my own gene keys. Gene keys have me a little stunned. Yeah. My husband's been. I've read my gene keys and stuff, and I feel like I'm doing the evolutionary work and stuff. Really, peace and transformation and high consciousness work is how am I saying this? Personal evolution work is kind of easy for me, but it's somehow hasn't translated into like the nuts and bolts of humaning with like business and and finances and that kind of work. So it's just like so human design is interesting to me right now because I feel like it'll get me over some of these humps that I'm using my voice for. We're deepening into the shadow. I'm starting to work with a prosperity coach because I am like, what the heck? You just keep finding your teachers along the way, your supporters, the next step, the next step, the next step. And voice work has been amazing to open my awareness to bring in just what the next step is. It's been amazing. So shadows, how to lovingly embrace the shadow side. The Gene Keys has that shadow, the gift and the shadow. Oh, Facebook has a human design group. Okay, great. I'll look into that. I've learned many things on my journey. Yeah, Vicky, if you don't mind me asking, where are you on your journey? What is your age? Are you midlife, 30s, 20s? 70. Oh, okay. You've learned a lot. Okay. Oh, well, thanks, Tyson. Thank you very much. So yeah, at 70, there's a lot there, right? So much, learned so much. Vicky, at 70, tell us one of your wisdoms, one of your biggest life wisdoms that you can share with us. I don't know what happened to Agnes and my guest. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get to see her. Love is the highest vibration. Beautiful. It is. I actually have a course called Tune Yourself to Love. It's very reasonably priced. It's over on my bio link. It's a 2-hour replay of a class I did. But it's called Tune Yourself to Love, and love is the highest frequency. Yeah, highest vibration. And how we can tune ourselves with our own voice to love. So beautiful wisdom. Thank you, Vicky. All right. Anything else we want to talk about today? We've been on here in almost an hour. Anyone have any questions about vibration and sound and shadow work? Thanks for the follow, Vicky. I appreciate that. When people are being rude and passive because they don't appreciate my level of light, I get upset. Let's talk about that. When people are being rude and passive because they don't appreciate my level of... All right, so that is a really good one. There's a few things there. Whenever someone is mirroring back, not appreciating our level of light, we have to, and you're getting upset, we have to go in there. We have to take a look and ask the question, do you appreciate it, right? Do you appreciate your level of light? Are you living a lifestyle to appreciate your level of light? Are you choosing people and community that appreciate that level of light? Sometimes we have a growth spurt, and we have this growth spurt that our consciousness and our vibration raise, and we start living from that. But we've outgrown our life a bit, but we haven't let go. And so what is it that you keep hanging around people that can't see you? Is it time to choose a different community? And if it is, and you haven't, is there some fear there about unhooking? Do you really believe the strength of your light? You believe that. So this is where some of those rubs happen, and you can start to feel them somatically, and this is when you would sound that out. Because your upset over them not getting you is yours. That's your reaction, and that is linked and has a root somewhere. So you can ask the question, how old am I being when I'm upset with these people? How old am I being? Most likely it's pretty young. But me being rude back is the most important part, because sometimes I fall, it's easy to do that. It's been great to be with you all. Mama Joy, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we appreciate it. Yes, I understand that. Being rude back. So that's called a trigger. That is your trigger. There's a really good book. That I've been studying, and it's in the other room. It's called No Bad Parts. It's by Richard Schwartz. You might have seen me talk about it in one of my videos here. No Bad Parts. And it talks about all the parts of yourself. The parts that get triggered, the parts that try to protect you from getting triggered, the parts of you that try to put out the fire of your triggers. So that's a trigger, and most triggers come from a very young age where we weren't seen and heard, right? So when you find yourself triggered, see if you can take what one coach of mine said, a safe seat. It takes a little practice, but you want to sit down in the middle of your trigger and put your hands on your heart and ask yourself, how old am I being? And really find the phase of life that this is acting out. It's because basically your trigger is a young part of yourself stepping into this present moment. It's not you in this present moment. So it's the young part believing that they're not safe, that they're having this. So what you do, again, like we said earlier, hands on your heart, you take your safe seat as quick as you can with your trigger, and you say, what is this? How old are we being? How old am I being right now? And then you say, whenever that awareness comes up, again, you get the feeling in your body. What is this? What color is it? What shape is it? And you start letting out sound to that feeling. And it's a feeling that couldn't be processed when you were young. And now you can process it. And you let the sound, the vibration of the sound, process it. And you be with it. Be present with it. And you'll lessen and you'll integrate that trigger, and you'll probably let go. And you'll start noticing that you are less and less rude back. Yeah. And when that happens, you might notice that people stop acting that way toward you because there's no focused attraction force there. Does that make sense? Hurry up, tree. Does that make sense? So I hope that helps. So working through triggers like you're talking about, it takes a little time. It takes some awareness. It takes, it's really tough pausing in the middle of a trigger. But you can do it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. Yes, it does. I've learned most of those things, but your perspective, I'd say, it's definitely clever. Okay, good. Yeah, there's lots of perspectives that are saying the same thing, maybe different words, however we get it, or it's a reminder, it's like maybe we need to hear it again in just some different way. So think about this. Create a safe seat. And, I got this training as a parent because we're talking about being triggered by our kids. And we could, get a safe seat in your house. But that's not real practical because a lot of times we're getting triggered out in the world. So just think of your safe seat as sitting within your heart. And, just excusing yourself and just putting your hands on your heart here and going there. And the more you can visit that, the less you're going to process this trigger, this wound. And you're going to find that this is not going to be a reality anymore. Yeah, the voice thing's a little, that's kind of my take on it, because you can talk to the person, but you can also just feel it somatically and you don't have to have a good singing voice at all. You could just moan and groan it out, but it's a way of being really present with it. And it really, sound affects the nervous system. It affects the vagus nerve and it calms the nervous system. So you're calming yourself down. Okay, you're calming your nervous system down because it's activated in the trigger. And when you let out sound, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which calms you down. And so you're like, and then you have this emotional input and you're processing it. So it's brilliant to bring the sound work into it. You can sing sounds in another language. That's great. That's great. If that feels light and you feel like that really moves the energy for you. I use just vowel sounds or just spontaneous sound, and I use Sanskrit. But use whatever comes to you, just even if you want to sing words out. I try to stay away from words because we're trying to deprogram ourselves, and when we use words, we're putting more program in there. Yeah. So yeah. So any last questions before I wrap this up, because I have to get going? Yeah, no words. I agree, Vicki, because that's more programming, right? So I'm a singer-songwriter, so I've used words a lot with songs and singing. And in the process work, I don't use words because we want to deprogram, not program. You are so welcome. I'm so glad you learned a lot. It's always nice because these lives go different every time. And so when people are really vulnerable and they really ask the questions, it's a co-creation. So thank you for your part and letting this all unfold. Yeah, it was really beautiful. And I'm really sad that Agnes didn't come back and my friend didn't come back. I don't know where she went. Is there a way to ask for a transcended experience, 4th and 5th? Yeah, I do that all the time. So this is what I do. I go into meditation, and when I feel kind of clear, I just ask, can I have the experience of the 4th dimension? Can I have the experience of the 5th dimension? Can I have the experience of the 6th, 7th? And I keep going up, and I just feel somatically what each one feels like and where I'm most comfortable. And I find that I'm most comfortable in real higher dimensions. But I feel like we are multidimensional, right? Even though we are living in a 3D reality, I feel like our whole energy systems are multi-dimensional. So yes, you can ask that with and feel, you can feel that. Maybe in the next live we'll do a if you're here, remind me, we can do a little meditation on that. And so the 4th and 5th Carters, a lot of our 3D people that are doing the spiritual work, doing the shadow work, we are living in the 4th, 5th kind of Carter more of the time. So I bet you're kind of there. But so yeah, play with the 6th, 7th, all the way up to 12th, 15th. Go, go, go. And then pull all yourself back to the present moment. Make sense? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I have a lot of free content on my TikTok account. I have like 900 videos over on my YouTube channel, so check that out. A lot of free content. And as we said, there's human design. There's the book I mentioned, No Bad Parts. And doing it on your own, of course, is possible. And if you want someone holding you accountable and going deeper with you and having the immersion, the repetition, and consistency, I'm here for you. I do vocal energy healing, and I do vibrational mentoring. So all my offers are on my link.